very beautiful and stylistic piece that I believe was based around the pandemic or a medical crisis. I believe it was COVID, um, showing sort of how the world has changed and having a very incredible approach in terms of a visual experience that carry you through a lot of different angles. I believe death was following around, and there was a very interesting sequence with, I believe, fish in the sky. And I thought that there was just a stylistic blend going on in the piece that was really strong. That mentioned the music as well. That created an almost like dreamlike and poetic experience that really allowed you to sort of follow a specific story about while also being open to interpretation and allowing the piece to work on numerous levels and giving you access to a range of emotions that created an experience that I thought was greater than the sum of its parts. So it was a clearly an incredible animation approach. It was almost art very I don't, like art realism abstract approach that had a lot of sort of classical art themes that I thought really worked well, and I felt like in general there was a sense of compassion and emotion that really came through that really made the piece feel like it was created with a very specific intent that ended up coming through and creating an experience that was memorable for me at least. So I thought it was very well done. And
The score is excellent. It has the cello and the strings really help create this excellent landscape that felt really powerful and had a really strong current for the storytelling that pushed the narrative forward, and swelled and had peaks and valleys in a way that really made the story stand out even more. It was an excellent compliment, and I thought it was very impressive. I also love the way the story, the animation style, and how the story sort of dips in and out of surrealism and like grounded reality. So for like about the second act, when you're dealing with the angel of death and what is not an angel but is actually just like a health practitioner battling over the soul of the protagonist, I thought was really beautiful and such an unexpected shift in the narrative. There's so much grounded, I guess the word is like bleakness and dread that they do a really great job of capturing in a cinematic way, surrounding the pandemic and just what it is to exist currently in the landscape as we know it. There's such an excellent capturing of that sense of dread and anticipation of what's to come that is really felt in the way that all the different individuals are portrayed, like going from one to many, using the different grayscale color palette to show expressions. All of those things really help to create that sense of at first dread and then a sense of relief towards the end. And then the message, I think that the story came through really clean in a really artistic and smart way, and humanizing the people who are saving our lives. They're not angels; they're actually humans who are making big sacrifices in order to accommodate what is the current healthcare crisis.
Especially love the imagery and the symbolism of life and death. Life being a surgeon, a first responder, uh, and that just bittersweet message of just how many people died from this and how desperate these doctors were to try to bring people back. Um, it's easy to forget now because, everyone's vaccinated. Uh, Many people who have caught COVID now have caught it post vaccine. Um, so the experience that they've gotten with it is far, far lighter than what it would have been like without the vaccine. Uh, and that wrestle to just stay alive, that was very impactful.
Most powerful image that stuck with me in this really neat animation of this story was when the woman was dying and death had her and the doctor was pulling her from death, like trying to pull her back and bring her back to the living. that was just a really powerful image for me. There was a lot of really nice images in this. I appreciated the animation style and the different sounds throughout. I thought were really good. The music, all of it really worked for the tone of the film. And I just felt like it was also sort of showing what these hospital workers were going through and the nightmares that they have afterwards and during. I thought it was an interesting expression of this, powerful images, and there was some semblance of hope at the end. And the title of I Am Not an Angel, I think, is sort of a representation of how the hospital workers felt.
Such a great depiction of, I think, the past 2 years that everybody has gone through. First of all, the title really stood out to me in the context of the film. I think just seeing everything that the doctors had to go through and knowing that everybody was kind of labeling them as heroes and angels and, putting themselves on the line and taking care of people, I think that really asks a question of, how much these doctors had to go through and how much they had to deal with, because they were also going through the pandemic themselves. Yeah, I think I really liked the black and white of this. I think it really captured just what COVID felt like, for most people. And yeah, I think it was a really good film that is incredibly relatable.
So I think you've done a really remarkable job of taking us on a very visual journey through, I guess, the experience of COVID. I think it's really effective the way that you sort of adopt this. I guess I don't want to exactly call it abstract, but impressionistic style. And I think it was a really bold choice to present this piece with as little dialogue as you do. I think doing that really demands a very strong visual style, and I think you absolutely deliver with the animation that you have in this. Um, yeah, I really thought it was working well. I thought it was doing a great job of sort of not only capturing like the experience of COVID, but also what's been lost, both people and the way of life that's sort of been lost in the years since that began. And yeah, I all in all, I think that this is a really powerful piece, and I think you've done a wonderful job with it.
Is a really great and suspenseful animation that shows the work of healthcare workers in a really interesting way. I thought the struggle was really suspenseful. I really like the animation, and the emotion is absolutely communicated through the artwork and through the music and through the motion as well. Really great animation.